Man, I see the B9L, I see the B9TL, and then I see the B5LH. Oh my god, 110 B5LH. I'm steaming. Call me right the fuck up right now.
What the fuck? We are now down to the SG Diecast Expo that happened recently. As you can see, the atmosphere is crazy lah, just like every other year. While there isn't much of a crowd on Friday, it actually started to pick up by Saturday, and Arielle and Ken's shop actually had all the bus and train models to it, with the exception of some stores here and there lah. Case in point, Arielle actually went all out this time round. They released 4 models as what you have seen in the image that I showed in the intro, and some of its previous releases like the Strider and the A22, not the 045G, all at the Ken shop vending machine right conveniently located next to it. The atmosphere is also not bad lah. The fact that it's at Suntec and not Expo, it really made it more attractive and convenient for all lah. But the management has gaps here and there. As you can see earlier, they had this 40 tiangs mat that they done with Dream Customs. Definitely spent a lot of money since it's really big. Actually, barely anyone used it for that purpose, and on the day itself, people placed their bags and whatever on it, and the next day they're just moving the Hot Wheels stunt tracks over to the table so that the little kids can play on that table. And not only that, there's also a free tour that you can attend around Marina Bay courtesy of the event bus if you spend $100 or more lah. It is a very interesting idea and concept lah, but the take-up rate is reportedly very low throughout lah. It doesn't help that if you really are interested and you really want to check it out, there are miscommunications apparently, as there are supposedly announcements to tell people where to assemble and whatever, but in reality, based on what I heard, there wasn't much lah. And that's whilst all the other brands that we've talked about in the past few videos are also hard at work lah. Toy Space was at the Hobbies Fair not too far away from the event, and Masterpiece released its 045 in Singapore on Friday, while also selling their Citaro diorama during a China Expo event lah. And the 045 still has some local fanfare to it lah. So anyways, what did I get from this event? As always, like every other Diecast Expo I've talked about, I've spent a little bit more than what I could chew. I was actually expecting to go inside with two beauties right here, the Volvo B9L and the Volvo B5LH hybrid. This is obviously the event ad, and this is the one that obviously got delayed till Saturday. I had to make 2 trips down to Suntec just to get this one. It's nuts. But more importantly, I also got another item. This. Let's just say that this was, as always, out of my plan. I didn't realize how low this could go lah. For those who don't know, this was sold 2 Diecast Expos ago in 2023 when it was at Great Wall. It was such a sick time there. It was sold like $28 plus back then. Obviously, that's the MSRP lah. Now if you go online on Carousel or whatever else, they tend to command and fetch for really high amount of price lah, like probably around 35 to 45, roughly like that lah. And to get it at 15 is nuts lah. It's so weird because at first when I was filming, right, I saw the booth. I'm like, wait, is this 75 or is this 15? I had to ask the shop owner, right, and then in the end the shop owner said, oh, it's 15. Then I'm like, wow, damn, okay, that's damn cheap. And yeah, it was a very crazy steal lah. So back to the other 2 that I have bought during the expo. I didn't get the large green B9TL because I already got the Mito one. The Mito one is really not bad already, so I don't really feel like buying another B9 lah. And likewise, I think the QB is also pretty close to what Masterpiece already had. It's just a little bit of modification here and there, but generally it's still the same model lah. So I also decided to skip on that. So what we have in the end is just one B9L and one B5LH lah. And if you heard what I've talked about last video, as always, 110 hybrid is really one of the most craziest things that you tell people that it will never happen but still happen in the end. I also won't believe it until 14 January 2024, that fateful Sunday where it all happened. And I'll talk more about it later in the video lah. But first, let's talk about about the 20... Oh, should I just shake the table again? I repent. Anyways, here's the Volvo B9L SG Diecast Expo 2025 ad lah. You can see here, you got Corey, D-Hive, and Ken Shop. You have Ray, the mascot, which actually looks quite cute. Ray is on the offside of the bus, and honestly, it looks quite nice altogether lah. You've probably have seen it earlier in the intro, and it fits way better on the offside than the near side, if it's not for the doors on the near side lah. Behind here, you can see there's a full description on who Ray is about. Ray will be making a special debut at the 8th edition of the Singapore Diecast Expo, blah blah blah, very long stuff here and there. And you can see you have the links to the Diecast Expo, Corey, and D-Hive lah, as well as ANS. Below here, you got your standard choking hazard warning. Produced by Arielle Models SG for the Singapore Diecast Expo 2025. H14 Plus AM B9L 23A. Obviously, this is the first bus that Arielle made that has this spanking new B9L mold that they have. Obviously, everyone knows the B9L because of its usage in the NUS ISB lah. But over time, as they are beginning to electrify the unit, this have all been moved out and passed on to other private operators lah. And ANS is not the only one. There are other companies like Chunfu that had it, A2D Transit or something like that. There's a lot of companies that got this very nice bus that we have right here lah. So unsurprisingly, you will definitely see a lot more of these B9L models being released by the Arielle accordingly lah. So back to topic, let's check out how this bus looks like when I open up lah. Alright, so here's the B9L. So this is what I mean by I kind of don't like the ad from the near side. They have the car silhouette and the car hatching, but obviously they cannot paste on the door lah, so it looks very weird on this side. But then on the other side, you have Ray, the mascot, and the car shot lah. And honestly, I like this part of the ad. It looks so damn nice. It kind of have the whole car aesthetic. I know it felt very cliche and very tacky in design, but comes in an era where you don't really see a lot of full body ads also lah. So to see this kind of ads definitely better than whatever we have any other day lah. So you can see right along the ad here, there is some of the sponsors. Unlike the approach that say ToyCon or more recently the Auto Diecast Expo had, all the brands and sponsors were on the ad itself. This one only specifically have Corey, Ken Shop, and only those few lah. I don't remember seeing the SG60 logo, but okay. Singapore's premier diecast event lah. Behind here you can see is the back ad. The one thing that many people point out, and I think here's where the defects begin lah. Some people mentioned that this section is a little bit goofed out. Their EDS, which doesn't exist on the real bus, was missing. There's a lot of weird things happening lah. I think here is where you can actually see some more of the sponsors, only on the top on this really small section here. So all around you can see inside there is the hand grips, and the quality is really not bad lah, minus if say you got a defective one lah. Obviously the Rego is not SG DE 2025. It was a different Rego. I don't have the Rego on screen, but you can see from the video earlier. Likewise, there is no EDS fitted on the bus, but here you can see there is a SG Diecast Expo right here, and the back lah. Yeah, you can even see here Arielle B9L. But yeah, generally it is a very interesting model to say the least. Who knows that B9L having its own model is one of the most strangest thing to expect. Definitely you will see more B9L related models out lah. All the different ads that the ISB had, NUS had, all the different ads that the NUS had, the IKEA shuttle, even the Mandai Wildlife Reserve one. There's a lot of things that they can play with lah, and obviously definitely your money will fly away to support Ken Shop and Arielle lah. Even this part is here, the top detail here, the detail is crazy. Generally a really nice ad lah. The best part is that this B9L is obviously a local bodywork lah. This is an SC Auto bodywork lah. So overall, another nice so-called fully local type feel have lah. So let's put this aside and let's talk about the other one. I don't know where were you on this very fateful day, but on 14 January 2024, I think that they really changed one half of the bus comp. Well, for two reasons. Number one, on that fateful morning, this bus went on the roads for the first time. In the morning, the BYD B12 demonstrator for this was on 265, and that morning I was like eating breakfast, then I thought, oh, why not I just go out and snap. So that's what I did. I went to snap the bus and blah blah blah, and then I come back and then I was on my computer. I clicked through Discord. I was seeing in Transit SG when suddenly Vamps showed a image that I think changed the rest of the afternoon, and that's how we even get this in the first place. So Vamps posted this image that you see, and everyone thought it was a punk, and the afternoon itself was nuts. If I'm not wrong,
less than 1 hour after that, right, I went straight down to Compassville. Compassville still exists at the time. I went down there and then I just camped for the bus, and the whole afternoon I was taking that bus over and over again. I filmed some stuff. It was very crowded. The demand is definitely very ridiculous because of the enthus that were on board, and also a bit of the general public that's just casually needing to take 110 lah. All in all, it was nuts. The bus was very full, and because the B5LH doesn't have the best aircon in the bus in Singapore, it can get very stuffy and very hot at times, and I think that's the sad point about this bus that we have lah. And since that, it's very funny because now when Arielle released the B5LH, he released it with the 272 with the older EcoBus sticker and also the 110 that we have here lah. And now with these two, I think it's good enough to complete the vibe of 14 January 2024. The 272 variant, like what I say, has the bigger EcoBus sticker, and it is $1 more expensive than this lah. But obviously I know why I want, because 110 B5LH means a lot more to me. So that's why I bothered to wait till Saturday to get the 110 hybrid one. Even though it got delayed, and even though I was just anticipating and wondering how soon would they get it, because on Friday itself they mentioned it may arrive by Friday night. It didn't, and instead it arrived on Saturday. But whatever, end of the day I still have it in my hands right here just to show off lah. They really give you a very sad life story. It's in 1/110 scale as always, and many people actually thought that they took the, what's that called, they took the LTA next stop one and shrunk it down. Who knows, we will have to find out ourselves. So let's open up and take a look. Oh, I can just do it like that, but obviously now I got a back cut. Now I got a slice through the back, but whatever, whatever, I think it still does the job lah. I mean, it's very obvious lah, but maybe it's not a good idea to do that. Next time I will definitely not do that lah, it's stupid. We take a look here. We have our Volvo B5LH SG3007A. Yep, even the right rego. So yeah, SG3007A Volvo B5LH on 110. I like how, right, I just realized the EDS, right, was literally the same scroll as the one that Vem sent in the server that day. Compassville interchange via PTB3124. But I don't know why, right, one thing really stands out very immediately now, especially when I have the image pulled up. I feel like the gap between the Compassville interchange and the 110, if you can see, right, is very, very far apart. It just looks very iffy. I feel like if it's a little bit more towards the right, net it'll look perfect. I don't know where they get their reference shot. Maybe they got it from the same picture that Vam sent. Don't know why the front here looks like it bulges a lot more than usual. Like you can see there's another thick layer of metal here just to protrude out the front. Obviously in reality I think it isn't that obvious, or it's non-existent lah, so that's very odd lah. That's a compromise. Okay, you know what, I'll actually pull out my image right now because I have a few. Let's see how accurate it is, since like what I say, I was there on the fateful afternoon. So now I pulled out the image and I realized there's a lot of more minute difference. If you can look past it, then it will definitely be a good one lah. But I'll just point out some of the ones that I see after I just open up the image, just for comparison. First off, the wheelchair, this wheelchair sign is supposed to be more towards the left, somewhere here, where my very long fingernail is at. That's number one. Number two, all of these signs are incorrect. This one should be a little bit lower, this should be a little bit here, this should be like a bit more towards here, and there should be the Nets, Visa, EasyLink, MasterCard supported here, somewhere at where this sign is supposed to be at. It's just very inaccurate lah. At least they got the SMRT and SG bus position right. That's the really interesting thing about Arielle lah. I've not probably mentioned in this video. I mentioned it before in the National Day video, and also a upcoming Arielle video, that I've always wanted to finish everything but I got lazy. The thing with Arielle is the very minute details. I don't know how they could. It's a little bit incorrect, but obviously there are small details that most people might not care, but I don't know, when you start pulling up images side by side to compare, you'll be like, oh wow, that's some errors there. And like what I say, we are bus collectors, we want this to be as close and pristine as possible, but to have it like that, maybe it won't really matter to some people. And also, end of the day, you're just going to put it on display. Not much people will care. If you don't have the reference image, or you don't know how it was that day, you probably would forget how it looks anyways. So take it and leave it, I guess. Moving around the bus, you have the back here, looks very close to it. Again, 3007A stickers are fine, but yeah, end of the day, it still looks quite nice. It's good to still have like a model like this B5LH. These are kind of the things that many people would wish to have, and Arielle is willing to spend all the money to make the models for it lah. You can see B5LH MCV What a dream. This is like one of the few models that you think won't be made 110 scale, but here we are lah. We have it right in our hands over here. So that's in short whatever new Arielle ones that I've bought in particular. Like what I said, there are more that Arielle have released recently during the event, like the B9TL and the QB, but obviously I didn't buy it lah. There are still stuff that Arielle still haven't released yet. For example, there is a SBS Transit B9TL livery on 52, and that's not including the other ones that I've mentioned earlier, like the train, the taxi, stuff like that lah. So that's about it lah. If you want me to rate the 3 events that I've talked about over the past few weeks to summarize everything up, it's very hard to say lah, because all of them right almost look like they are very successful. All of them are unique in their own ways. It's very hard to pinpoint each of them lah. The other day I was talking to Javier and Cyrus, also cannot put my finger on which one is the best one out of the 3 or even rank it up to begin with lah. All of them have their own flaws and stuff, and yeah, and I just realized something. Why every time when I touch the bottom here, right, oh, why is it like sticky here? I'm no joke. I can, oh, you can see. Oh, how they make the base lower is pretty interesting lah. You see how right, when other people like Masterpiece, when they try to make the overhang sections of the door, right, see how the bottom here, right, they'll usually leave like a small gap hole here. They'll have still the piece of metal in here. When they make the model, right, they just slap the door right together with where the rest of the bus is. On the Arielle one, it's a little bit different. The approach looks like, right, they make a little more indent here at the bottom, then they plug in the door. So theoretically, right, if I want to, I can technically just take out the bottom here like that lah. And wouldn't it mean that it's more brittle to the hand if a kid or whoever just goes over like that? Who knows? I also don't know. Because even though these are meant for ages like 14 plus, right, I always see parents buying these models for their little kids, like probably 5, 6, 7 years old. I always see it happen every time, and you always wonder how long would the bus survive? How long will it take before the mirror starts to break, the hair starts to die out, stuff like that. And trust me, I've seen it happen so many times already. Anyways, back to topic. I was saying that how the 3 events were very hard. I can't put a finger on it, right? Yeah, I really cannot. It's so, each of them have their own unique flaws and stuff. It's very hard to do it lah, and that's probably the fun part about getting competitions and making the boss of Tiny feel very left out in their own country. Okay, jokes aside, that's about it for this video already. What event is your favorite? Which event is your favorite? What else are you expecting? Tell me in the comments below. Let's get the comments section busy for once, because I really want to hear some of your opinions. Then maybe we can have a small little chat also lah, because honestly, I feel very lonely in my own house. Anyways, if you're new here, do remember to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. There's a lot of very interesting projects coming on along the way. Like what I promised time and time again, the Arielle one, it's happening. There's a lot of other videos also coming up. And yeah, with that, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. What the?
Imagine this video has this.
Just come what?
Yeah.